Okay, hey guys, welcome to our team call. I'm gonna share my screen because we got lots to talk about, and so we'll get started. Give me a second to remember how to do this. Share. Gosh, okay. And I apologize if you can hear my family is wrestling. I think it's really loud. Okay. I can't see everybody. Okay. You guys can all see the calendar. Just speak up if you can't. Okay. Um, This is the calendar, but we're after this we'll do some recognition stuff, but I know we kind of have lots happening, so I just put the calendar on there first. Um, so you guys, if you guys listened to the call on Friday, they kind of went over like all the happenings of this month. But if you haven't, that's okay because we're going to go over it all right now. Um, so every Sunday night, they have those opportunity calls that Melissa Eichenhorst is kind of the one that hosts those. So I'm trying to utilize those more for myself and my team. But we can also share the link to those and make sure we get the graphic in the chats too every week. Okay, so free resets. Anybody that's a new VIP is going to have the option to get a free reset, but you have to make sure you put that individual reset in their cart and then use the code reset. We kind of decided as Jules, as a team, to work smarter, not harder, and utilize the weekly reset groups that are in the One Plexus community. So, in Rising Jewels, Emily made a great post that kind of shows how to join that. And you can just send your person the link to that particular week and they can join it that way. So that's kind of that's huge, you guys. And I believe it's so any new VIP, as long as they have a 100 PV order, and if you guys have customers that haven't ordered in, I think it's 6 or more months. Um, Correct me if I'm wrong, Emily. I think it's 6 months. We can clear them out and re-sign them too. So if you have somebody that wants to get restarted again, they can get the free reset too.
And
Um,
Lacey, I don't think
yeah,
that those groups, I don't think you have to be a new VIP to go into those groups. I think it's just if you're going to do a reset, so even if
yeah,
you've been here 6 years and you want to do a reset, I think you can join those groups.
yep. I think you're right. Anybody can be in it. Um, but that's kind of a way that we just decided instead of one of us trying to recreate that group every week, we would utilize those. I do think there's a lot of value in if you have a couple people that you know are going to be doing a reset, try to get them together in a group because I think that community and just the sometimes I think the smaller groups are really nice too because people aren't as afraid to maybe share stuff. So that's a really great thing to do too. Every Friday, Plexus is going to do a flash sale. So it's going to be the first 3 Fridays of the month. Um, we won't know the products until they tell us, but they said it can be anything up to like 20% off. We had one last Friday, so it was like 3 or 4 products I think that they had. And they last 24 hours. So they'll drop, I think it was 5:30 Eastern time. They'll drop those flash sales and they'll go for 24 hours. Um, what else? Giveaways. I have some other slides on this, so we'll talk about the giveaways here a little bit more too. That has all the prizes because they're bougie prizes. You guys like, it's not like a tumbler. They're like really nice prizes. Um, but once you sign somebody up, you get your name entered into a drawing, and every Friday, or for the first 3 Fridays, or yeah, the 8th, 15th, 22nd, they're going to draw and they're going to pick people to give things away. And your name can be in there multiple times. So if you really front load your month and you add 3 people this week, your name is going to be in the drawing for the next 3 giveaways. So that's really awesome. And they also said it's unlimited number of like prizes. So like if everybody decides to pick the $500 gift card, they're just going to give away a bunch of $500 gift cards. Like they're not going to run out of like you don't have to pick and choose. Like it's not like somebody picks a prize and that prize is gone. So That's pretty awesome. Um, Obviously we have accountability group power hours. We'll continue those the rest of this month. Um, there's going to be a Boise Friendsgiving on the 14th. You guys can see that. And then after Thanksgiving, they're gonna drop the Black Friday sales. I know nothing about what they possibly are. They really haven't clued us into that at all. I think they are kind of doing these flash sale giveaway things, and then they'll talk more about Black Friday as it comes. So be on the lookout for that. We usually have a pretty good Black Friday sale. So okay, let's do some recognition because we're going to come back to all that too. Okay, you guys, we had so much action. So I wanted to shout out the Leaders Retreat cruise earners first. Um, but definitely put in the chat if you had point growth in October or if you maintained your rank, because that's a huge deal. Maintaining means you are working hard and like that's a huge deal. So shout yourself out or shout your teammate out in the chat if that is the case. But so far, cruise earners, we have Emily, myself, Hannah, Liz, Amy, Brianna, Nancy, Pam, Abby, and Lauren, with tons of you like on the brink. So there's going to be so many more names and so many more faces on this graphic next month. Okay. Top enrollers. Michelle topped the list at 12. Michelle is having an awesome, not only did she rank up to gold, she recruited a ton of people and she's already added like 3 people, I think, this month. 2 or 3. I think 3 people this month. Michelle is on fire. But you guys can see all the top enrollers there. We had a really like that, we had a really big month, so that's awesome. And then rank ups. Nancy hit Ruby. That's a huge milestone. Like that's big. And she didn't do it alone. You can see, so all, like Pam, Michelle, Jerry, they're all her team members and they all ranked up. So they all rose together and it was really exciting in our chat and kind of in my conversations on the side with them, just everybody like cheering for each other and like kind of the countdown of how many more to go till their rank. And I think that's just so like so much good encouragement. And yeah, I'm so proud of all you guys. So Pam ranked senior gold, Michelle is gold, Jerry senior silver, Danielle is senior silver. That's huge. Those are huge milestones. And Ronnie hit silver. So you guys are doing awesome. I'm excited for this month. So just to start to talk a little bit about incentives. So if obviously the reset is kind of probably the big incentive this month, but if somebody doesn't want the reset, the give 10 is still an option this month. You can't use both codes together. Like you can't put the reset code in and the give 10. So it's kind of one or the other. Obviously reset's the bigger deal as far as cost goes. But I've talked to a few people that didn't like the reset. And so I think that would be a good option for people. At least you can still do the $10 off. And then same with people who maybe haven't ordered in the last 30 days, they can get $10 off with the Save 10 code. Okay, so we kind of talked about this. Free reset all month long, as long as they have an order of 100 PV or more. Any new VIP, you just have to put in the individual reset and make sure you use the reset code. We kind of talked about the flash sales. So they're 24 hours long. Just those 3 Fridays, they'll happen. And it's just things that people can kind of add. They can't add them to their subscriptions, but they can do like a manual order. I'm kind of using these flash sales as like my customers who haven't ordered maybe in a while or don't have an order this month, but maybe they've been ordering fairly consistently. So that's kind of how I'm utilizing them. I'm not sharing these a lot with like necessarily new people because I want them to order something that they'll continue to order. But good idea for somebody or somebody that maybe doesn't have a full 100 PV, maybe they can get another little order in. Okay. And then we kind of talked about the giveaways, but look at these prizes, you guys. Look at this cash, $100 and $250 in just cash. There's Nordstrom and Best Buy gift cards, which are $500. There's an Nespresso, an iPad, headphones, and then a Dyson cordless vacuum. So these are awesome prizes. Like Plexus is going all out for this. Their whole theme this month is giving. Like they are very big on giving this month. And so that's why you're going to see these giveaways, the free resets, and the flash sales on Friday. And then also all of your customers, including us, have the opportunity at checkout to donate. So it'll just be something at checkout that they can like click, and there's different dollar amounts I think they can click on how much they want to donate. And I believe it's a donation to Feeding America. Um, I didn't see any other like things listed, so I think it goes to Feeding America. Okay. And then cash for the holidays. I just wanted to point out some of these numbers. So we have the extra $200 if you enroll four. So like if somebody enrolls four, they're going to earn $347. But I really liked this number. Enrolling eight earns you over eight, almost $900. Like that's a huge amount of money. And we all know that we can enroll, like most of us have enrolled that many or, maybe 6 to 8 people. So it's totally doable, especially if you're sharing with your people that they can also do this. They can get their products paid for by sharing with their friends. Um, I know like I'm going to try to be very intentional customers sharing about this and also sharing with them that there are free resets, even though they can't get it because they're currently ordering. But if they share with a friend, like you guys know, if everyone on your team would add one, like that adds up and that's a huge deal. So I think it's really like a really good idea to be sharing that. These are just same numbers, but just different graphics. These kind of show like the different numbers if you're fast start, first time, or a brand ambassador. Okay. Ashley made this awesome November tracker because we were kind of brainstorming last night. We thought it was so fun to have the 4x4 card that Hannah did last month with the like add four, get a brewmate, add four, get an Amazon gift card. And so we just thought it was so fun to coincide with our daily tasks that will be shared every day in Rising Jewels to check off your task. And then if you add your VIPs to kind of keep track if you're earning that Christmas cash. So I'm really excited about this. We'll probably come up with some random prizes and stuff like that for people who are able to complete their tracker. So yeah, I think it's just really fun and something to kind of like share in the threads so that either share your teammate or celebrate, like bring recognition to yourself and say, hey, I did it. Like, look at me. I've already, I've added someone or I've completed all the tasks so far. Like those tasks, they are not meaty. They're not going to be anything crazy, but they are going to move your needle forward. So it's really good to be checking them out. And if you guys see that task shared in the morning, share it in the thread. So the first one to see it, just share it so that we all kind of have it on our radar during the day to do that task. And we're kind of keeping each other accountable. So I kind of went fast there, but Emily, did you have anything to add to that?
I just said in the chat that you all can mark off today because the task for today was to be on this call. And we didn't have anything for Saturday or yesterday, so you can mark those off as well. And then the one from Monday was just to make sure, Monday of this last week was to make sure you guys watched the Plexus Ambassador page where they went over it for 5 minutes. That's all it was, over what was going on in November.
Yep,
Do you
yep.
want to introduce SaraJo or do you want me to?
I can introduce SaraJo. So I'm excited to hear from SaraJo, and I have honestly no idea what she decided to speak on. She messaged Emily and I and was like, I don't know what to talk about, but I know when she led when she was like the team chat captain, she did so good making videos and like she poured her heart into them and they were so good and like educational. And so I'm really excited to hear from SaraJo. I'm going to stop my share here so we can see her. And then SaraJo, if you're ready, take it away.
Okay, I'm going to set a timer because Lord knows the teacher can get chatting. So hi, I'm SaraJo. If we haven't met, I have been with Plexus for about to be 4 years. And so I just wanted to share a little bit of a snippet of my story. And I really wanted to do that to hopefully like inspire you, encourage you, that kind of thing. So I've been with Plexus for almost 4 years now. I started for products. So I started because I desperately needed energy. I desperately needed to be able to not have to mom from my recliner. I would come home from teaching all day and plop my rear end in the recliner and pretty much sleep. My husband would like wake me up with food and I would eat and I'd talk to my kids for a few minutes and then I would be out again. Like I just could not keep up. And so I decided I had to do something. Like I was fed up. I had to do something. And so I decided to take the chance on the products and wonderful things. I'm no longer addicted to coffee. Like we're talking like 5 massive cups, not like cute ones, but like big ones, just to try to make the drive home from work. I am no longer living off sweets and I'm regular in the bathroom. Woohoo! Like that might be weird, but we're Plexus people. Surely it's not. I've had so many health struggles fall by the wayside because I decided to get to the root of my health issues. And so that's just kind of like a brief snippet, like no longer caffeine addict, have the energy. I've lost like 13 inches off my waist since I started and wasn't even trying to, like, that was not my point, was losing weight. And I just think that's beautiful because a lot of times, like, I didn't try it for years and years and years because I thought it was just a weight loss fad. And so, really learn what gut health was and how important it is was huge for me. And so I kind of stumbled into the business. So like I was just so excited that like after a couple weeks, I had energy. Like I came home and I cooked dinner for my family. So I think for me at that point, that was unthinkable. And so I started seeing these improvements, like being able to then go play with my kids. My kids would be like, "Hey, mom, let's go play soccer." I'm like, "Okay, who am I? I don't know." And we would race and do all these fun things that I had not been able to do for years. And so I started sharing that. And as I shared it, like people were interested. And so I just started telling people how good I felt and started signing people. And so I actually went pretty fast through the first couple ranks. And then I've kind of been at gold for a long time. And that's okay. There's been a lot of growth here. And so that's what I'm really going to focus in on telling you today is just talking you through a lot of things that I have learned along the way, especially in the last year or so. Sorry about that. So a lot of ups and downs in the business. If you are riding that high and everything is beautiful and wonderful in your business, I am so stinking excited for you. Like keep that energy. I love it. Love that for you. I was like that for quite a while. And then I realized that I was going to have to work on me and I was going to have to work on my mindset and I was going to have to work on my thoughts behind things in order to excel further. So I did. So I spent like a year or two like growing and all these kind of things. And then I still felt like I was hitting a wall sometimes. And so this last year has been probably the most difficult year for me in my business, if I'm being full transparency. It's been a difficult year in like life in general, but that translates too into your business as well sometimes. And so although it's been difficult, let me just go ahead and preface by I have learned so many amazing lessons and so many amazing things through it that there is positive things that came out of it. And so those are kind of some of the things I want to share with you tonight is some of those lessons that I have learned. And just kind of hopefully that if you are feeling stuck, if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you are feeling like, where do I go from here? I don't know. Like this hopefully inspires you in some way or just makes you feel like you're not alone in that. And so one thing that really this year I just had to get serious about, and I thought I had, like I would have, man, I was so serious about this. And then this year happened and I had to get real serious about, really want this? Do you really want this opportunity for you and for your family? Are you willing to do it? Like, no matter what. If that means you're doing it alone, if that means you're doing it with people, like unfriending you, not liking you, like, are you willing to do the hard in order to achieve those dreams for your family? And so, like, this year, I have really gotten to the point where I'm like, yes, even if I have to go without family, even if I have to go with people being unsupportive, sometimes, like, I am doing this. This is where I'm headed. This is where I am called. This is the gift that has been set before me. And if you can draw that line in the sand, you're going to be unstoppable. But you have to draw that line and you have to make that decision. And like I said, I thought I made that ago. I thought I made that. And then it came up and I was like, nope, guess I didn't. And so I encourage you to, in that case, know exactly why you're in this business. Why are you wanting this for your family? What are you wanting? And so like for me, I've started setting for myself, like next to my desk at work, it says, I am Emerald. Am I Emerald? Heck no. But am I going to get there? Yes. And so I'm putting it on my desk. I'm claiming it. I'm saying it to myself. I'm writing it in my planner. I am doing things to make sure that our dream board as a family is right over here on the wall. So anytime I just turn my head, I see our dream board right there. And so like do things to remind you of why you're doing this. So when you are on those hard days, when it is difficult, you have those reminders front and center, and you spend less time floundering in the emotion because you're going to feel emotions. It's going to happen. And so just so you can pull yourself out, I'm going to kind of jump for a second out of order. But one of those things that I found within that, and especially in the last 6 months, is like, if you're struggling with something, people, like, I gotta give it up. Kanye's amazing. Abby's amazing. You guys are awesome. Like I was able to like message them, hey, how do you deal with this when you feel like this? How did you get yourself out of it? And one of the amazing things that Kanye talked to me about is call the funk out. Just call it out. Say you feel funky. Say it's you're feeling overwhelmed. You're not feeling right. Like stuff's going on. And by telling somebody else, all of a sudden there's a weight lifted and you can be more objective as you work through doing one thing at a time for your business. And that was huge for me. Huge, huge, huge. Okay, now I'll go back. One of the other big lessons for me this year has been remember your strengths. Somehow I compartmentalize my life a lot sometimes. And so like I was a high school band director for 10 years of my teaching career. I have built band programs from the ground up. I have established the culture I want in a band. We've gone through it from like being laughable on the field to winning states, like recognitions. Like I have a set of skills. But when I started network marketing, I was like, do anything. I don't know how to do anything. And the Lord this year specifically has just given me moments of just like aha moments, I guess, that like things you know and the things you do and the things you've trained for can translate over. So, like being able to lead people or lead a group, I didn't lose all my leadership skills just because I didn't lose how to people or how to talk to people or how to invest in people because I started network marketing. But for some reason, sometimes when we start this business, we forget that we have a set of skills that can move over. So whatever job you're doing on the side or that is your job or where you're coming from, even just mom life, we can coordinate chaos. We can do this. Don't forget the skills that you already have because network marketing has got some big, woo woo. You have to have the magic sauce. That's not the case. And so like that's something I've really learned this year is to break through that barrier and like skills that can be useful. And so do you. One of the other things this year is this has been a thing for me since the beginning of my business, but even more so this year is others focused. It is always people over points. And sometimes that's hard when you look at the points and you know you're not going to re-rank, but you want to play that long game. Don't push somebody into something just for your gain. Now, if it's for them, if it's because that's what they need and they need that nudge and they need that push, but if your motive is because you need those points, we don't need to be like that. You need to make sure that you are being people over points focused because that's how you're going to keep your retention. If people know that you truly are invested in them and you truly care about them, even if they stop their subs, even if they quit, back around. I have a girl right now that's doing that. She quit for a while and she's coming back around. She's like, thanks for being patient with me. Okay, I think I'm going to restart with I got some at home, but then I want to start back up. Like people over points is so, so important. And remember that you're going to have to fudge. We all try to have systems in place, but like, you can't just be cookie cutter and everything. There are times you're going to have to deviate because it's people over points. It's people over, like, over the fact it would be so much shorter to just send this cookie cutter message to you in my systems when really you need to call this person and have a sit down conversation about their detox. Like, don't ever get so invested in your systems that you forget about the people. Put yourself in their place. What would you want from your ambassador, from your coach, from your sponsor, if you were in that place? This is one that I think is great and has really held me forward. And it's a Tamara Holloway quote. And I have loved it because it has pushed me out of my comfort zone so much this year. And it's do things for yourself. Don't wait on leaders to host stuff. It's really been about like, hey, team, when are we going to do another activity? Hey, Emily, when we're doing another team event? No, we can do our own. Embrace your leadership because other leaders have lives too. They have kids, they have activities, they have tragedies, they have all kinds of stuff in their life too. We need to lead our business. Okay, so don't be afraid to step out and be vulnerable. Do it. Fail. What's the worst that can happen? And I really messed that up. Can we do a redo? Like, I mean, how horrible would that be? If your friend came to you and said, I really think I can do it better. Can we do it one more time? You're not going to be like, no. You'd be like, okay, I agree. Probably wasn't that great. Let's try again. Like, the end of it, be the end of the world if something goes completely wrong on the event. Nothing earth shattering is going to occur. Take the chance. Just do it because you will build your belief in yourself by taking those chances and leading yourself. You don't have to wait for other people. Take responsibility for your own business and go for it. Relating back to like calling out the funk and like being real when things are a struggle and reaching out and letting people know is also action cures overwhelm. So when you're in that place of overwhelm, the last thing you want to do is something for your business sometimes. But do one thing. Just do one. Start with one. Not reach out. One reach out. Voice message if you want to, so that you feel like you're being as authentic as you can. Or send a written one. Whatever. Send one. You might send that one, feel so good about yourself. You do 2 or 3 or 4. Want to be done. Do something to move your business forward, even in the funk. Maybe it's connecting with people. Guys, it's so important. And sometimes we skip over that. Connect with people. Connect with them. Yes, send a follow-up, send a customer care, make a post, do all that stuff too. But for me, if I'm in a funk, I'm going to go and start with connecting. And I'm going to connect with people. And I'm going to comment on their stories and I'm going to comment on their posts. And it's going to make me feel why I love doing this business, why I love investing in other people. And therefore, I'm then going to feel better about the reach out I'm going to send. Figure out what that is for you. Every person's different. I promise I'm running. The other thing is always remember that you belong at the table. I loved when I heard that. You belong at the table. I belong at the table. That was a huge moment for me because as we were doing, okay, I know you probably hate me talking about this whole Big Leap book, but I'm telling you, that was transformational this year for me. Reading that book with that group of ladies changed me and changed my business. It is what it is. It's a little woo-woo, but it's fine. We like it anyways. And so one of those things is knowing that I belong at the table. I found out through reading that book that one of my upper limiting beliefs for myself is that I believe that I should not outshine other people because by doing that, I could make them feel bad. And so I hold myself back because I'm scared of outshining others. Real moment with you guys. Sorry. And that's hard for me because I never want somebody to feel like I'm trying to outshine them. That's not me. And so for me, that's a very big, if I feel like I'm outshining or outstepping somebody, I'm immediately going to hold back and pull back in. That's not what I want to do. So through reading that and realizing that that's something I do, and then having other amazing women speak into my life, I realized that I really do belong at the table. Just because I do well does not negate what other people are doing, and it shouldn't make them feel bad for me to do well too. In fact, if it does make them feel bad for me to succeed and do well, maybe they're not the right people for me. Because people should want to see other people succeed. People should want, we in this business should want to see others rise. And so if you can break through that, maybe that's not your limiting belief. Maybe that's not your struggle. Yay. So excited for you. But one of those things is like the Lord has seriously worked with me this year on it's okay to be me and I'm not for everybody. And that's okay. That's okay. I know that I am doing what I'm called to do, and I know that this is something He's gifting me in. And so it's okay. It's okay. By me succeeding, I am not putting anybody else down. I am not trying to snuff out anybody else's light. I'm just succeeding. And that's neutral. I don't know if that makes sense. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there. But that's been huge for me this year to realize that that's one of my self-sabotaging things. If I feel like I'm going to outshine somebody else, I'm going to shut down and back out. And so working through that this year has been huge for my business because when I acknowledge it and I realize that's what I'm doing, I can put a stop to it. I can remind myself that I belong at the table. I belong there. And therefore, I can then empower my team even more because they can feel my my confidence in that more. And therefore, I can lead better. So I loved Chelsea. Saying it right? Dasinger. She was what last? I don't know. We had a call with her. She was awesome. But she said something that I have held on to and it's being written everywhere. And it's the only way out is to be your own freaking rock star. That needs to be the truth. You need to plaster that everywhere when you're in a funk. You need to plaster that everywhere if you're feeling stuck. The only way out is your own freaking rock star. You don't have to rely on anybody else calling you a rock star. Be your own. Turn and tell your kid, be your own rock star. Brush the haters off. You don't need them. Same for you. Stuck. If you're feeling overwhelmed, brush it off. Be your own rock star. You belong at the table. So I know I'm out of time. So one of the big questions that I feel like has been on my heart and the Lord constantly brings it to light is I was asked to burn the ships. The saying burn the ships, like leave it all behind, let's go start a new trailblazing. If I was asked to burn the ships to accomplish what I am being called to, because I fully believe I am being called in Plexus to help impact other people's lives. So if I am being asked to burn the ships, could I? Would I? So when I'm feeling stressed, overwhelmed, in a funk, alone, struggling in any way, to burn the ships, could I and would I? And if not, why? Get curious about it. Why? Because if you know that's what you're called to do, if you know this is what you're called to do, if you know that this is what you're supposed to be doing with your life, what is your hesitation? What is holding you back? How bad do I want to change things for my family? How bad? Is it worth being your own freaking rock star? Knowing you belong at the table? Making sure you call out that funk? These are all things we can do. But in that moment, it is hard. I am not negating that. In that moment, it can be hard. Have a plan of action set. If I get in this funk, if I'm feeling overwhelmed, this is my person that I'm contacting, who I'm going to call it out to. This is what I'm going to do about it. This is the one action I'm going to take on those days. Plan ahead. Maybe you've never had to experience that. Again, awesome. But plan ahead. But if you're going to burn the ships, I hope that helped or comforted, inspired. I don't know, whatever. It's just what I felt like the Lord leading me to talk about. And yeah, thanks for listening.
So good, SaraJo. So good. If anybody has questions for SaraJo, speak up or put them in the chat. But I think that was That was so good. Like you're going places for sure. Um, yeah. Okay. Um, if there's no questions, um, I'm trying to think what's this week. Let's try to get as many of us into that drawing on Friday so we can earn some prizes. But yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Good night, everybody.